Thanks for joining us today. My name's Clinton Roberts. I'm here with Adam Legge, alumni of the firm, to catch up with him and talk about where his career has been going and some of the things he remembers when he was here at PwC. Adam, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Clinton.
Can you give us a little bit of an update since you were here at PwC and where your career has gone and some of the things you've experienced over that time?
Sure. So I left the firm in 2004 to join Calgary Economic Development, which is the city's economic development agency. And I went there to build the research and business information department. We grew it to an economics outlook as well. Spent 7 years there, and then I went to join the Calgary Chamber as a president and CEO to really turn that organization around into something a bit more modern and dynamic. And I left there at the end of 2017. I've just joined the University of Calgary at the Canadian Centre of Advanced Leadership at the Haskayne School of Business, really looking at the role of business in society. So it's been a number of years, but I've had some pretty awesome experiences since then.
Yeah, some great experience. And can you talk a little bit about Calgary and Alberta in general and some of the things that you've seen in the economy and just the approach and the mood of the economy and the environment over the course of your career since you left PwC?
Yeah, prime time for that word of diversification. So you're seeing lots of people thinking about agriculture. It's Alberta's number 2 export activity. Canada is one of the only countries in the world that can export surplus agriculture products. So we're really prime in terms of Canada's role in helping feed a hungry world. So we're seeing more emphasis on agriculture. We're seeing technology growing. We're seeing a lot of people really rally behind the sector. People who have built companies in Silicon Valley that are coming back to Calgary and putting a lot of energy into building a more robust sector.
If you look back to when you were at PwC, is there anything in particular that you can take from your time at PwC that's helped you as you've gone through your different career?
Leaders taking younger students or younger workers and bringing them under their wing and really giving them exposure to the way they think, the questions that they ask, the way they tackle different problems, the skills that they need to build. That's pretty rare. I've never seen that in any of the other places I've worked. I've tried to build it into some of the leadership practices in where I've been a leader. But the opportunity to work directly under a partner or under a vice president is pretty rare. You don't get that in a lot of places. And so you get the exposure to them and their ideas and the way they tackle situations. Secondly, I got exposure to a lot of really different projects, which enabled me to build my toolbox of skills. Here, it was totally different. You're given a wide variety of projects. You understand different industries, different methodologies, different kinds of equations, all those sorts of things that enable you to build a great toolbox, which is I still use today. I still use the things that I learned watching my mentors and my leaders at PwC. I still use some of those skills I built doing different projects. So they've lasted me for well over 20 years.
Well, that's great to hear. Culture is something that we take very serious at PwC, and we're constantly working at it, so I'm glad to hear that it was a positive influence for you.
Sure.
Now that you've kind of moved through your career, you're at the university, you're going to be working with younger people, is there one or two things you'd say to the leaders of the future and things to think about and to work at to set themselves up for success?
Absolutely. You know, there's a great book that came out a couple years ago called Be So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. It really encapsulates my personal philosophy is that, you can't expect to just sort of show up, put in your time, and rise through the ranks. You've actually got to be so good. You've got to be building your skill set, honing your skills through consistent practice, deliberate practice all the time. So you become so good that you can actually rise to those levels. The other one is that we're never done learning. Right? We have to continually be expanding our skill sets. We have to always be learning about what new technologies are happening, what trends and forces are happening around the world. So understanding the place of business is not always a status position in society. A lot of the work I'm doing at the university right now is exploring what is the future role of business in society? How do we make sure it's a trusted institution? How do we make sure that it's performing at an ethical standard? And understanding that we have a part to play in ensuring our communities are strong and vibrant, that our employees are doing well and able to take care of their families, and that we're a positive force for stakeholders around the world. That's a lot of what's happening in conversations broadly these days. And so if people are keeping an eye on that and being part of that movement, I think they'll do very well in the future.
That's good. That's very, very good insights for people. Adam, thanks very much for coming here this morning and taking time out of your schedule to talk with us and share some of your insights. So thanks very much.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.